So is it live now? Hello, I think we are live. Welcome to Freshly Brewed Poems Facebook Live presentation, a night of open mic and poetry. It is March 19th, 2022, and we are at Wake Forest Coffee Company at 156 South White Street. We'll be here until 9 o'clock. It's close to 7 right now, so you still have time to jet on down here if you want to. I'm not sure if anybody will be constantly monitoring this, but if you guys have questions, leave them here or messaging us through Facebook, and I will try and answer them. If not today, perhaps tomorrow. So I am Debbie Johnson, co-founder of the Freshly Brewed Poems, and I'm here with our other co-founders, Art Antino, right over there, and the Peaceful Sword. I'm also here with Dan Decker, Shakespeare scholar, sonnet workshop leader, and author of Anatomy of a Screenplay. We will get started about 7 o'clock with Art, and we will move on to our 3 Freshly Brewed Poems poets, monthly poets, Fred, Tina, and Sara. And following that, we will begin our open mic with 1 poem each to begin. And to conclude with that, our 2 main headliners, Travis King, who is is also one of our poets and sacred haiku, whom you can find on his podcast, Pen in Stone. And you'll also find that link on our Freshly Brewed Poems page. Our next event is tentatively in June, and we will be back at Larry's Coffees in Raleigh. We have been at Larry's Coffee from the beginning. This is our 3rd production here. They have offered us a place on their community page to post poems. We're shifting over to Facebook now in the future, but we still think of Larry's as our home base. But we want to thank Wake Forest Coffee Company for providing a space for us at the last minute, and many, many thanks to them. So make sure that you remember to keep a date in June, and stay tuned here. We will be starting shortly. And I am going to let you look at an open mic, because it is, after all, open mic.
We start at 7. If you haven't signed up, sign up.
It's already recorded.
What do you think?
That's the thing. Like, I need to be doing things like this. It's just not having a still talk about it. Yeah.
Is this being live streamed?
Yes,
Yeah?
I think it is.
Oh, do you know like where to find it?
It would be on the Facebook Freshly Brewed Poems.
Okay. Well, my mom's
called.
curious, but she doesn't have Facebook. That's
Well,
alright.
we're going to try and record it. We're going to try and record it.
Okay,
And we don't know how to do all that stuff. So
either, to be honest.
we're going to give it a try. So if we get it recorded, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
So you can show mom.
Huh?
So you can show mom.
Yeah.
Is she here in Raleigh?
No, she's in South Dakota.
South Dakota? Wow.
Yeah.
Get out quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the return spot, I don't really have much. I go to it, where they call me to do a set. I don't really like go to my set board. Yeah, we'll go to City Soul, just that it's hard. That's how it's right. I just feel like I don't really, I just don't snap entirely to the bottom. Like, I just feel a little, but it's not their fault, it's just that's how it is. Make a concept.
Debbie Johnson?
I can do anything ever. Like Fernando will make it okay.
Debbie Johnson? Would you stand at the mic, please?
Because people like that showed up. Because Spooky showed up. And like other people that like eccentric. Yes. Like he got the
I'm sorry, it was rolling.
What's that?
It was recording. I don't know how that happened.
It's okay. Zoom in.
Best not to move it around.
Okay.
It's not a porn film.
So you could do like the first season of East on the Board if you wanted to.
What was that?
These are the people who know how to arrive on time.
No, it's not. I have to know how I'm going to do it.
Hi. Yes. Hey, Sarah. Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry. I should have told y'all, but yeah. No, where's everybody? Well, cool. Make yourself comfortable. We're going to start pretty soon. We're going to be third. Brooks, go over here. No money in poetry. Yeah.
Sara. Nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Yeah. The mini market. Yeah, this is what they got me doing at work, these kind of things. Like, I just feel like messing with people. See what I did there? Yeah. On the highway. Wink. But like, they didn't, I didn't realize, like, that it could be a shot. I knew it wasn't shot from far away.
Sorry, Mr. Text.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was all good. We were just downstairs and we were like,
It's okay. I'm recording it.
Okay, cool. No, that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you
but
for
you
doing
guys
that.
would, do live. Let's go.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing that.
Cool. It's not recording. I was looking at the time.
What, do you want me to ask about it downstairs?
You got the ball, boss.
What's your question?
He's first.
They're holding a lantern behind here.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's very random. A friend of mine dropped it off for me. So they have it here. Very random, I know. It's like my friend has an antique shop out here, and I got an oil lantern from her, and I just couldn't ever pick it up, and so she's like, I'll drop it off where you're gonna be tonight, and you can get it there. So,
Wait, they brought it?
so yeah.
Can we like,
Yeah, no, I know.
we
It's
could like completely have it up there.
I know, it'd be cool.
That would
Like,
be
I don't know if we
fun.
can actually light it though. That might be a fire hazard.
Oh, it's not in there. Okay.
Probably now way back. Yeah, I figured the way I think I broke it up. How much time did you say we each have?
About 5 minutes, about three poems, I think. Usually that's
Mine are
about.
like super short, so I might do like.
Or just talk. Yeah, just talking between. Sell your stuff.
He likes super short.
Here's the.
It's a world of used cars and singles bars, broken dreams, and out of reach stars. I can tell where the poets are sitting. Not beside the laureates, the literati, not beside the English professors, not beside the professionals, who actually get paid. Poets can't hang at that table with the marked up Kool-Aid and the charcuterie board. There is too much of a language barrier to know what anyone over there is talking about. # bourgeoisie problems. Poets are lowly class. No master or PhD in eloquence. No megawatt certifications as if to say, it's official, I write poetry. Poets get their GED at most and head straight into the workforce. Trade their black berets for hard hats. Roll up their sleeves. I know where the poets go to work. It's not a desk job. They write orders beside dining tables during an overtime shift. They write in the dark with trembling hands, unable to find the words to reply to a text sent from their wife's phone, but meant for a lover whose name is not their own. They write divorce papers, rent checks that bounce past due. They write applications for unemployment, what medications they've been taking, all the symptoms they've experienced in the last 24 hours. Depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide. They write, and you swear they try to erase it with a forced smile, but it is written in their eyes, their body language. And you'd swear sometimes they are writing about you. There is no poems you will see on their resumes. It's a blank page, torn out of a dusty notebook, experience written in footprints and elbow grease, dues paid, debts incurred. The poets aren't qualified to write poetry. No grandiloquence to their truth, no frills to their perspective. They speak as if their tongues are on fire and their lungs are deprived of air. Struggling with a sense of desperation to tell the stories that don't make it to the news.
Come on, poet.
The poets aren't published. Their words live in the ephemera of a good conversation, ring in gunshots, are remembered in the names chanted on megaphones as marching feet gives way to shattering glass, a far cry from the elevator music of your favorite hipster cafe on the gentrified side of the fence. The poets break through it and write with their hands dirty, their hearts broken. Their portfolios are filled with the unsung work songs of chimney sweepers that Blake overheard in London. The proletarian pitch of the hog butchers that Sandberg echoed in Chicago. The bebop flying out of horns from the Harlem of Langston Hughes to the Frisco of Jack Kerouac. The poets don't speak with fragility. They howl. Pack of mad dogs unchained to grammar and syntax. To hell with eloquence. They will drag your dictionaries through the mud and hurl them at the establishment in the twisters of their tongues. They'll bum rush you on the sidewalk, beg for a lighter, if only for the chance that you will lend them your ears for a change. Stop and hear the poetry. It's the 6-year-old handwritten card that reads, "I love you, Daddy," on the Valentine's Day first time as a single parent. It's the voice of my mother calling us to the table for garlic fried rice and eggs after her radiation therapy. It's the advice my father gave me after reading one of my poems. "Son, you need a woman. So look around. You are the poets. I recognize you by the way you speak your piece, not for the praise, the snaps, or the attention, but simply to remind people like me that we are not alone.
Art, that's brilliant.
Yes, that was a poem about all the poems you're about to hear. How about that meta? Yeah, think about that. Snaps if it's your first time at Freshly Brewed Poetry. Yes, this is what we want, community. So here's how this works. My name is Art. I'm one of the co-hosts. If you can't remember Art, just remember I'm the only Asian dude in here. Probably the only Asian dude you're going to meet in North Carolina for the next month. Real talk. Yeah, so if you like what you hear, just snap. Like, do it with me. Yeah, just do the snap thing. And if you really like what you hear, just feel free to make the noise of your choice. Just make it known that the poets up here are being received because it's a live event. We need a live audience. We feed off of that energy. But two things we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear your cell phone ringtone, so silence your phones if you haven't already. Second thing we don't want to hear is we want to hear no side conversations, especially when people are reading. It's just weird. So if you feel compelled to talk to your neighbor about the meaning of life or something, there's a coffee shop downstairs. You can go down there, get a coffee, chop it up, come back wired for the rest of the show. Sound good? Yeah. So if you have not signed up, there's a sign-up sheet over there. We got some poetry books for sale on the far table. There's a bathroom downstairs. Masks if you need it. We'll be spraying the mic in between sets. Yeah, so y'all ready to hear some freshly brewed poems?
Yes.
Gotta do that. Are y'all ready to hear some poetry? Yeah. So I'm going to introduce to you the co-founder of Freshly Brewed Poetry. She's a published author, a painter, and one of the most structured people I know for a creative person. Creative people aren't usually that structured. She likes spreadsheets. Give it up for Debbie Johnson.
I do love the spreadsheet. But I'm so disorganized I didn't get the Facebook Live thing done properly. So, Art, thank you for rescuing me and putting it on your phone. So, I am Debbie Johnson, one of the co-founders. There's also Dan Decker was the one that inspired. Said, hey, what goes best but coffee and poetry. So Larry's Coffee was kind enough to put their poems on their website. But we thought that it might be better to maybe extend it so that we could have a conversation about poetries. So now we're in our Facebook phase. So please go and like the Facebook Freshly Brewed Poems Facebook page. There's also a group, and the group is a private group too. So anytime that you post any of your poems on that the group, it's private, it's a safe place. You'll get some people giving you comments and stuff. And we're going to set it up the same way that we had the Freshly Brewed Poems on Larry's website, that we're going to pick out one poem a month that we think is special and post it on the page. And then those people will be invited to be a featured poet. So at one of these events. So that is basically it as far as like the structure of things that I like. Yes, so let me put this down. See if I don't have that. I had the paper, I didn't look at it. Oh, I hope I said everything I wanted to. Seeing some new people here, this is great. I love it. Some familiar people too as well. So like I said, we pick out a poet a month, and we picked out for our March poet, a gentleman named Fred Appelhans. My German wants to say Appelhans, but it is Appelhans with a Z. He was one of the first people to post on the Facebook page, but he's also one of our contributors that has been doing a lot of contributing all along. He does live in Kansas, so he's not going to be here tonight, so I'm going to be reading his poems. The first one is from his book called Love, Smiles, and Tears, and it's called Morning Love. Whisper sweet sounds laced with emotions of 1,000 kisses, for my body craves the esoteric ecstasy of your touch. Let the world contract into a single moment as we drift into a fog of enchantment, safely in infinity's embrace, all questions disappear. Time is suspended within 2 heartbeats, beating as one. 2 breaths quiver, melting into each other, breathing as one. Love silently simmers as legs and arms enfold the essence of contentment. Only intimacy can ignite passion so genuine and love so real. Yeah, that gets you going there. So, all right, I'll tell you a little bit about Fred. Like I said, he does live in Kansas. He lives on 30 acres on a farm that he calls Valley View Farm. I brought a couple of his other books, and you see he's got one of his books named Valley View Farm. He is an avid hiker. He plays the hammered dulcimer, the 6 and 12 string guitars, and a little bit of the balalaika. He has 8 published books. One of them, this one, The Love Smiles, and also The Valley and The Embrace. Now, I have some copies that he was kind enough to send me, and I would sell them to you, but they're signed to me. You can't have these. But you can go on Amazon, and you should look for F.C. Appelhans, and if you want to buy some of his books. So, the next poem is Bewitching Spring. Called Apple Blossoms Cascade. In shivering waves of ivory, a springtime slowly awakens, bringing welcome changes. My heart hums joyful notes, witnessing nature's gift, subtle and beautiful as breathtaking phenomenon. Neglected listening absorbs a cornucopia of songs, voices express salutations, old friends return. Pale finches change color, courting explodes in earnest, dainty hummingbirds dart about, nature warms wintry hearts. Emerald hues dangle renewed as wildflowers erupt, varied fragrances overwhelm, widening smiles widen with each breath, springtime entrails. I was just thinking about spring so much by reading that. I did wear my spring dress, and then the last poem is, it's called This Life. I'll put this down. This life life in increments, moments. Little do we understand the significance of our choices. Chaos and serenity intertwine like fingers of morning mist, hatred and love and grace, and a symphony of emotions. This life knows no limit, knows no wrong, knows no logic, only movement. This life, our moment of humanity, fleeting are our experiences that create who we are. Citizens of dance and hope, pirouetting in the abyss. Loneliness remembers rapture and memories of truth. This life feels no pain, feels no regret, feels no desire, only itself. This life, a parade of human spirits, a cornucopia of encounters, images of a single atom. Music holds hands with silence, lost in each other's heart. Reality whispers with fantasy, sharing secrets of ancient riddles. This life carries our dreams, carries our passions, carries our meanings. Living, living, living. And that for Fred. We really do appreciate him, all the contributions that he's made for Freshly Brewed. And I'm going to introduce our next poet, but I need to get my cheat sheet. I didn't plan that quite right. And that is Tina. Tina is around with us. Next up we have Tina. Tina was our Freshly Brewed February poet. And you can find some of her selection in Larry's Coffee's community poetry page. We still have a lot of the poems listed there, and her poem is there. And Tina is an artist, a baker, a traveler, a performer, and a poet from Wasilla, Alaska. I know I have that wrong. She's been living in Raleigh for only about 7 months. She's working on her first book, which will be a collection of paintings, poetry, drawings, and photography. Although she would rather be doing writing or art, she can usually be found at work. Thankfully, the workplace can be a beautiful opportunity for a wandering mind, sometimes wanders. And often she finds herself jotting down lines for later pieces. So I would love for you all to give a hand, give a click for Tina. Tina Hersh.
I apologize because I don't have my glasses, so I might stutter a lot. So I guess I don't really know what got me writing. I never considered myself a writer. I was in a mental health facility for about 1.5 years when I was like 14, and they made us write everything all the time. So I guess that's kind of where it started. But when I came to my first poetry reading, Dan had me share, and after that I was like, oh, this is it. So as I was driving away, I had to pull over and write this one down, so thank you, Dan. He asked me if I was schooled in writing, my first thought being, yes, I graduated with honors from the School of Trauma. Words used to fog my brain, none of them being the kind or beautiful sort. No, they were sick patients. I cared for them, putting them to rest on my paper. Acknowledging their pain felt like a purpose. Even the most gruesome, I admired the raw truth. They were naked and unashamed. I look back to where it began, and oh, how much we've grown. Now, instead of bloat and mold, I breathe romance and intimacy. Sure, the roses have thorns, but how their beauty blooms, as does my poetry. So this one I wrote for a friend. This is one that got me selected. It's called First Impressions with Lasting Impact. Dear Fern, I met you today. You're under my skin and I can't get away. You're in my sleep when I'm dreaming, in my head now I'm fiending. I feel you between notes and songs when nights grow long. You pass me in dreams, leaving me empty, searching for that spry undertone of emotion. I've been painting, trying to catch you in a moment I can hold on to for ages. I'll remember you. Dark, comfortable, and quiet, you really are a treasure. Tasty shapes and tender lines, taunting movements. Your small words help the world seem large. I'll dine on memories, toying with flavors, thick smoke rolling off my tongue into your smile. I think of previous meetings where neither of us exist. In passing, grazing shoulders, quick glances gaze older. Your eyes tell of new dimensions. Don't think I'm in love, that's not my intention. I just needed to voice my appreciation about the mental indemption.
That's a line I like.
And then I have one more. I did this one for the new year. I have a love for the underground, the dirty creatures found in the deepest crevices of our earth. They've been taken at face value. If you're willing, there's gold just below the surface. The streets are weeping. We're out with cans, pans, and music-making regime. Self-made millions spent on survival. Beautiful bodies tied up in nakedness, the hope of coming home someday. Someday the businesses will fall, or maybe just care enough to include a variety of schedules, of colors, of minds, of feelings, of dreams, of ability, of experiments, of education. It's the working class supporting each other and their children that make ends meet. It comes full circle, the generational curse. It keeps moving. Turning and turning and turning, the world's a revolution. I'm sure it's getting tired. Will it fall off its axis? Maybe then we'll all wake up, strung up by our toes. A different point of view. No need to be strung out. We are outside the box that's held us captive. We see it, the inner workings. The earth, our fine machinery, gummed up with neglect, apologies, and empty promises from the generations before us. Spring cleaning and New Year's resolutions never fixed it, so how will we?
It's getting so into it, I was like, oh, it's my turn. And our next one is Sara. Hang on a second. We're supposed to do this between the microphone. So anyway, I'm so pleased to introduce Sara. When she submitted a poem to Larry's, I was like, something that just was profound about that. And it's just sometimes you just see a poet and you think this would be somebody that would be great for the poetry community. So she was our January, like I said, our January poet, and you can go on there and see her poem that we picked. I think it's the evacuation plan. So Sara discovered her, she wrote me this, Sara discovered her passion for writing and photography at a young age. She was born and raised in upstate New York, and in her 20s, she realized that New York was entirely the wrong climate and left her comfort zone to see what else the world had to offer. She traveled, soul-searched, and discovered what she was made of. She has since lived all over the country and worked as a tour photographer, a media content producer, a film production assistant, photography instructor, and much more. She recently released her first poetry book entitled Reaching Light Together, which I believe she has brought with her tonight, so if anybody's interested. This book combines her two passions, and many of her poems are accompanied by her stunning nature photographs. In her poetry, we will find a unique blend of natural imagery with descriptions of the physical and the spiritual experience of being human. And I am so pleased to present Sara Joy Tiberio. I know I would say that. Thank you, guys. Yes. Please feel free to do anything that you need to make yourself comfortable.
Thank you very much, Debbie, and thank you to Freshly Brewed Poems for having me here. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here and to read live for the first time ever from my new book. This is the first book I've ever published, and it is a collection, thank you, it is a collection of my poems and my photographs as well. And it is, as Debbie mentioned, entitled Reaching Light Together, so we're going to pretend this is lit. This is our light today, this lantern here. I moved to North Carolina about a year ago, so it's really nice to be in good company with other poets and poetry lovers and to find this community. I've spent a lot of time in other states building communities and doing open mics, so to be able to be invited to one like this is just a real treat, so thank you. If I let my mind steep in the ancient woodland for long enough, will it become infused with the secrets of the trees, the stories of all this land has been through, the people who came here long before me? Will I learn to speak from my roots, to bow with the wind, that growing is not an option in order to reach the sun? I should show you the pictures here. I am a frozen landscape, slowly melting into itself, cool water seeping deep to trembling roots, spine stiff, silk skin as clouds of breath, whispering away in a breeze, voice settling on pavement, and vanishing thoughts lined with frost, freshly coated through. A sleeping moon in pupils, mirroring truth, dark night, contrasted by glassy flesh, perfect presence, precious piece of stillness. This is Evacuation Plan, the poem I was selecting.
I forgot the picture.
The last one there. And then this is the photo that goes with Evacuation Plan. Iceland. Beautiful. Beautiful. The earthquake in your throat shakes at the edge of your voice, threatening to collapse old patterns. The hurricane in your lungs stirs in the corner of your eyes, waiting to break through protection barriers. The wildfire in your stomach smolders through your skin, burning denial, your carefully crafted calm. Let it burn. Let it crash. Let it collapse. The shelter of repression you worshipped, and feel it all. It's the only way out. I'll read a few more here. Strange existence. Some days I'm more myself than others. When I'm a little out of focus, I let myself shift around inside my being, trying on what feels right. My voice gets lost in the day's drone, but it's still echoing from the times I spoke my truth. I will always listen to the wind or whispering intuition. I will always dream of snow, but I built my home in the sun. If I'm not smiling, honor me for feeling. If I'm wild, it's because I know the way to freedom. I spend more time staring at walls than into mirrors, knowing where my true reflection is. I found selves I forgot, exploring in places I have never been before. I ride on now to prove you will never shake my prowess. Place your hand on the ground where I kiss the earth. Feel my passion burn. Feel this. I return to skies, holding glide. Tear me down. Try. I ride on now. Watching beautiful scenes dissolve like dreams. Shaking myself awake. Making myself out of brazen days. Taking the meaning I seek. Keeping this secret. Where you fail to eradicate me, I evolve. Thank you very much. You have my books. She's tall.
That was all of our poets that are from the Freshly Brewed. We are going to start our open mic now, so I hope everybody has signed up and stuff like that. And it was very awesome to hear Tina saying that her first open mic was our first one in, that was way back in June of last year, I think. So that was very, very encouraging, or September it was. So that's very cool. So everybody can be a poet. Please contribute to the Freshly Brewed Poems website page. And I will turn it over to Art, who's going to be doing an item.
Tell those guys to sit in these chairs.
Sure.
Yeah, another hand for our features, man. That was a feature. So I'm holding a clipboard. It looks official, right?
Got my daughter's name on it. Sorry, there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So yeah, this is the spot to be. FYI, you got your coffee, you got your poems, you got your artwork. Don't you just feel so cultured? Like you're all a little bit cooler by being here and supporting local live poetry events. Do support Wake Forest Coffee Company because they support us all the time. We always do poetry events here, so be sure to get some coffee. They got like cinnamon rolls the size of your head and some other things. So check them out. Tip your baristas. So we're gonna get into the open mic. Like I mentioned, just snap if you like something. Make the sound of your choice if you really like something, and just let the poets know that you are receiving the energy. You get in, but you come out. So the first one on this list, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. Debbie, are you the first one on this list?
I am. I was actually third. So
yeah,
what y'all doing? Like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did. Yeah. No one wants to be the first. Like it doesn't work. You just gotta wait. So you're first. Debbie Johnson, back to the stage. Yeah.
Looking like I'm kind of, you know. Anyway, this one is called On the Table. It is also on our page as well, so it's called On the Table. I look at your hand, lying, resting quiet on the table, resting, lying quiet on the wood, and I want to crawl between your fingers. I want to climb into that spot that marries up to mine when we hold hands, loosely when we stroll, so they move like reeds on the beach, responding to a wind or a turn of the path. Or snug with that tight wraparound clasp where I anchor my small around your strong index, wrist to feel your heartbeat. Or warm and passive in the movie light flicker, fragrant from popcorn and lovemaking. I look at your hand and lay mine there, resting quiet on the table, resting, lying quiet on the wood.
That was really peaceful, Debbie. You're more articulate than you let on when we're scrambling to put on an event last minute and you get all peaceful with the poetry. So appreciate that. Next up is a really good friend of mine, and you're not ready. I'm not ready. I haven't heard this dude in a long time, but you're gonna remember the name Spoken Watson.
This many poems, you have this much time, gives me fear. Hi there, my name is Colin Watson. Most of my friends just call me Watson. I do that to confuse you. So I've been writing the same poems for about 2.5 years now. They're all like one continuous storyline called Peace, Son of War. And for the longest time, I was like, no one's going to see any of this until it's all complete. And then 1.5 years later, I went, Man, I would really like to make sure it's sort of the sunk cost fallacy at this point. I'm just in it because, yeah. So here's it's a letter from, it's a bunch of letters from a boy named Peace to his father named War, and a bunch of letters from his father War back to Peace. And I'll just do two. This is number 2, December 8th, Ramshackle Commonwealth. Dear War, what do you do when the world you knew falls to pieces? Pulling the thread that uncoils that serpent, woven pragmatic between the sheets we thought were solid, suddenly giving way as the cobra bares its fangs, as we are bare before that vicious venom, time. She undresses every whore and none evenly, neither able to hold the dissolving seconds slipping through handcrafted dream catchers, never to return the same. Dear sir, your wife, Mercy, is dead. And now I am an orphan. Since you died when you stepped out the door to fight a war as pointless as every other, you can call it duty. That gory sort of necessity, gunning down your fellow man, carpet bomb the churches and the synagogues with your God bless the troops. No matter the gall you feed the populace, you will find no patriots back here. The last whiffs of that Spartan miasma died with my mother, taken by the plague if you happened to care. It takes such little things to change the world. A bullet, a virus, a note. It wouldn't have taken you 5 minutes to send a letter. Audacious to say you ever loved the woman after you abandoned our family home. But now, well, I've got this ramshackle house. All scaffolding and shoddy construction, teetering on the edge of collapsing, a mockery of our great commonwealth. As the great world serpent slithers across the surface of the earth, and the seams of our piecemeal society come loose, and Father Time, fed up with all our bickering, turns the hourglass on its side. Ragnarok. The end of all that was, and the birth of what shall be, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Isn't that what you taught me? I haven't an inheritance to my name. The house went to my sister, the life insurance to the debtors. The cat went to the neighbors. Me, I was left with just a parchment promising a world reborn. And I decided to chase that dream across this war zone of gods and giants, believing on the other side there must be a place for those brave enough not to raise their fists. It may be a fool's errand or a pilgrim's end. It may be as pointless as every other dream I've been chasing, but I cannot stand another day in the shadow of this civil war and do nothing. What do you do when the world you knew falls to pieces? You build the new one in its ashes. Sincerely, Peace. So this next piece actually comes much later in the storyline and chronologically happens before, but it ties up with this. And anyways, it's I was a pacifist for a very long time, which is part of what inspired me to write this, and me wrestling with pacifism. And this piece is called Twilight of a Dawn Empire, and it's war riding back to peace. My son, what do you do when the world you knew falls to pieces? I write on the eve of a pivotal day, wherein our country may fracture entirely. We rarely know when history is being made, but it's not hard to see the revelator between the lines. War, famine, disease, and death, I might call it apocalyptic, were it not so trite. We stand before the greatest divide of the century, and I don't know if the side I'll choose will be right. We believe in making tomorrow better, we'll say. But today is hellfire and brimstone, so we must become somewhere between the devils and the angels, august in the contradictory contractions that constrain the birth of mighty men. Or perhaps just appointed judges of the 12 tribes, inflicting judgments on sinners and saints alike with jawbones and generalities. There is no such thing as a civil war. Never a sinless side to shed blood for. All are Leviathan. All are fire and gore. Surging Nile, hungry sea, behemoth, leveling whole dynasties with sweeps of its tails, destruction its wake. War eats guilty and innocent alive together. We may well wake tomorrow to find our whole world changed. And Tiamat and Marduk tear each other limb from limb, bloodlines and beatitudes upended. Vicious becomes king. Virtue commits suicide. The dragon, in all its stolen glory, takes flight. And yet, tonight, I think of you and your sister and your dear mother Mercy and Mount Zion awaiting me in a better country. This place isn't home to me. An empire promising dawn, an American dream bleeding into twilight. It is the fate of every empire to perish and die. One day, all will be changed, but men stumble in the night, so we sons of Adam are set to candle keep, with torches alight, by hope and faith like seraphim, keeping watch over garden gates until the children inherit the city, in a wedding of nature and grace, and how deeply I long for that day. But for now, I will wait by your bedside while you sleep. My boy, growing up to be a man far too quickly. What do you do when the world you knew falls to pieces? You need not fear, oh my son. When the ends of the earth topple again, death throes of a destined end, a hilltop city still stands, triumphant, shining. Sincerely, your father, Ward.
I know that guy. Told you. Man, like the allegory and the imagery and the social commentary, because it really is a war. And man, so I feel a little bit smarter now. So we're gonna keep it moving. So if you're coming up to the open mic, you could. I think we got. What time is it? Is it like?
Yeah, I think we've got lots of time.
Okay, yeah. So two poems max. If you got like a long one, just let it be one. And if you got two,
How many people we got on there?
Yeah, and if we got a little bit more time, we can circle back if anyone wants to sign up again. But yeah, so next up to the mic, I might say this right, I might say this wrong, but it's Abasi Brown. Give it up.
My name is Abasi. This poem I'm about to do right here, I wrote it back when I was an undergrad. I haven't been writing for a long time. Like my mom died not too long before the pandemic started. I haven't really been writing like that. I'm trying to get myself back into it. But yeah, I wrote this back when I was in undergrad though. So. And look, my noggin's in a knot, and I can't comb my mind because my thoughts are locked. Yo, I need a hit of that chronic crop because my atomic clock's in a time shocking. Time is kicking my ass. I mean, time is kicking my behind, so before I go insane, I need to twist this Mary Jane and take a ride to Cloud 9. Because this lime got me wasting time while I get high. Hey, yo, pass me the lie because time's passing me by. Why do I stay high? Why do I wait for my slumber craving this lie? And why must I comply when my yang tells my yin to roll that shit, light that shit, hold that shit in? Time runs thin as the smoke rolls thick. I watch it dance and twirl as I get toasted. Blunt tips get roasted till they burn down to roaches, till the roaches burn my lips and fingers to hold it. The same fingers that rolled it, the same lips that sealed it. It's the same lips that got cracked and black and peeling. Now I'm feeling slightly retarded because I'm slightly euphoric, but I'm slightly lethargic. See, my eyes are chingy. I'm deep. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to offend nobody with that. My eyes are, I was young when I wrote that. I'm sorry. I didn't know it offended people back then. I'm sorry. My eyes are chinky. I'm deeply thinking, staring blankly while seldomly blinking. Got me debating, should I go to class or go take this cash and cop this grass? Forget the class, I'm about to get the puffin', and I'm gonna keep on smoking till I'm left with nothing. Now I think I'll fly to Cloud 9 perhaps, cause time lapsed, then my high collapsed. Now I think I'm dead, or I wish I was, cause to keep on keeping on, I gotta keep my buzz. And what I speak of is this herb called reefer. You better roll that shit, light that shit, hold it in deeper. Blow out the smoke and dump the ashes. Yo, something in this reefer got me skipping classes because you sweet like molasses, Mary Jane. And you got some kind of hold upon my brain. But I speak in vain because at the same time you keep me high, you keep me low. You like my medicine, you my poison, you my friend, you my foe. You got me wasting time and you keep me wasting dough. You inebriate my mind into a cloud of smoke. So this next one, so I wrote this like around the time, I wrote it right before my mom died. Like I couldn't sleep for days and I just couldn't stop writing. And it's funny that she died right around the time I wrote this, and my first time performing it was at her funeral. And like this poem kind of like embodies her. Like the poem is called My Name is Love. And my mom was really like a person that like if one word embodied her, it would be love, like unconditional love. Like so it was coincidental, but this is for her. So like the river does the sea, you can bet I'll always find you. Even if you fail to see, it's cause I'm always right behind you. And if you wish to find me, then try this for a start. Stop looking with your eyes and start searching with your heart. See, only I can count the stars, and only I can conquer hate. And only I can see the future, so patiently I wait. For all my tired sisters, for my misguided brothers. See, when it rains and pours and you can run to me for cover, surrender me your pride and I'll free you from your fears. Come home to paradise. Hate has no place in here. Be true to yourself because your heart is my approval. For I am colorblind and I'm also gender neutral. I am all that is pure, so of this rest assured. Now spread your wings and fly because free spirits have to soar. You see, I am without limits, eternal like the sky above. Yo, can you guess my name? It's L-O-V-E, love.
We can go to like that.
Man, one more time for Abasi Brown. That was such an important piece, man. Like, I feel uplifted, but also hopeful. Like, you know, people are immortalized in the stories we tell about them, and like poetry is not just a nice to have thing. You know, we need to remember people, and sometimes we need to get high. I'm going to Seattle next week. Yeah, so next on the list. I don't got the list.
Speaking of getting high.
Yeah, next on the list is Ivan 10. Chill. Yeah, give it up for Ivan 10.
You came up.
I'm not sure I can.
Yeah, give it to us. There you go.
Perfect. So I turned 18 yesterday and spent my day getting mentally evaluated. So happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
This piece is called Ridicule. Not that anyone called her that to her narrow, pale face. Long iron armor and red lanyards mark her name to fame, not slander. Vulgar expressions from the face hole from the side of the room. Swansinger, as old games array, ran away from the big circle in the middle of the room. We were locked in, looked in the center, but she broke the radius. Put the die in a meter, put the I am out of the iambic pentameter. Broken rhythms, lost songs, song singer, where? How long? Without the privilege to pee in the room, strained with urine, yellow, purple, red, blue in the noses when we stayed out in the hallway too long. Not that she noticed, wailing on about the journals, the drafts of paper we tore from the screens and folded into paper airplanes, creative, put on display for the crafts. Look at the freak who stakes in the corner of the Swansinger on full display, now presenting, in person, live at the Ritz Cracker Station on I-95, unrelenting tyranny. Call it a profession to lock us in a room and desecrate the chairs he sits in. Tyranny! Teaches. Sat down late from the chairs and the stairs. We found our chairs in the 5-minute in window we called in because we aren't any knockers. Trying our best, aren't we? Trying to sit in the top of our lungs and the bottom of our hearts, aren't we? Swans nowhere. Pausing. Waiting. Breathing. Forgetting to breathe, remembering why? Why? Nay, she the bustling cinch woman, running away from her desk to turn off the projector, cleaning this canvas, aren't we? Cleaning the minds of the students, aren't we? Aren't we? Where love blown out long ago, didn't know why, afraid of skylights or later lustful passion, afraid of lesbians. Of. In her chorus. The torturous bangs of censorship that block the eyes of hate from glaring forth and binding into the night sky a new star on a virtue and lust, letting us breathe. Redemption that lifted her head out loud, not putting on a display for the rest to unlisten if they cared enough, but no lifted heads of the sleepers, no careful ears that listen, blind, mute, letting us read which? Swansinger unlistening and out of sight! Cinch woman keeping at her busy pace. Not always this way. Like mentioned before, didn't used to be this bad. Didn't used to sit in seats aside facing away from the board. Didn't used to sit the wrong way. Sitting the way nature follows, swinging song stroker before his neck broke. Sitting the way God wanted. Dead God! Buried in the tomb of her own words. Damned, shammed. ruling that never felt more strong, longer. Swan singer, there! Reading other people's works, sharing dead cousin stories, slacking off in class, playing golf, sitting down. Cinch woman, the one who can't understand art. Art. Unculture that never felt more sane. Nurturing that never felt more destructive. Old. Never. The swan singer returning. Promises made in hasty breath, never failing to disappoint. Always coming up, roses and daffodils and Santa Claus demons who claimed their chests were real, who sagged with metal instead of their bones. Hypocrites, adulterous heathens. Your way of life that corrupts and detangles spaghetti monsters, listlessly carrying your sword with your two fingers when they could be creating dangerous things to pray. Dresses made out of skin of other people's teeth, so white and pressed firm, tucked into the pockets in order to not show the hints of pleasure. The cinch woman coming to say that going to be better in the future, because in the better of futuring, writing and progressing asymptotically to the strict line of progress, followed never. Since, therefore, the writ of consequence went in blood by the martyrs who made the rules themselves, once now they're chanters of an unknown monologue, dragged by the roadside as a hitchhiker who can no longer walk, given only a portion of bread when hungry and only a tablespoon of water dripping out of the mouths of the monsters were the reason for the chanters to rise up beginning wise, slaying the foul beast, but viewing the swan as one of those two, the majestic regal creature who could no longer fly, tied to the water, yet never submerged, only long so gone, and now like a savior disappearing into the past, only a glimpse of what used to be the shimmer dashed against the rocks. Cinch woman appearing again to say better without even it. Happier, to less complicated, less creative, pulling you towards her, wrapping her arms around you, embracing. And the swan singer who is now long gone, where to turn and accept into the arms of the beast, to learn her name, to accept this game, play the rules, to sit correctly, to take the pass, to stay away. Don't know. I felt safe here. Here things were normal. Here there could be happy memories, real beauty. It is following, it is rest, it is giving into what felt so hard. Now it is easy and happy and carefree and bliss like this. At least it was like everything else. There's no sign of ugly duckling anymore. Things can go on like normal. Let me tell you a story. There was a world in which everything was right. Simon too thought things were peaceful and quiet. He never wished for more. He had everything to come up above himself and become great. No conflict in his life. Things were good as it could get for Ivan too. The world looked at him and smiled. He was quirky, he was fun. He made a fool out of himself, reading small, cute narratives to a class in order to get their feedback. He felt privileged to be in a class where you could do that. He always thought of himself as a little kid. A little worthless, meaningless, purposeless kid. Rise! How? Rise! What? Rise! Lies, eyes, ties, pies, nights, buys, cries, spies, wise, guys, cries, skies, eyes, lies, reading, foolery, mock-ups, hitching, twisted witness, cross, flag, executed rights, rallies, conquer, being alive, least, no longer gone, having death, arms, hopers, afterlife, team, extend the oath, rights, bitch, woman, where? Swan singer, rise!
How many more do we have? All right. How many?
18 is serious, man. That was a tough age. Congrats and happy birthday to you for getting there. Yeah, that's what poetry's about, man. We gotta slay
slay the adversity within. That's pen is a sword. What is the next one? Okay, what time is it?
Oh, it's about 8 o'clock. You got anybody else on the list?
Yeah, there's a few more. Yeah, so at 8:30 we're gonna have our features. So y'all better stay tuned for the 2 features you got coming up. And in the meantime, we're gonna go down the list. Next on is
Celeste.
Oh, my friend, Celeste. Yes. You knew. Yeah. So give her like an extra round because she hasn't been here yet.
This is a poem I wrote called Last October. I'm just going to start reading it. I've been thinking a lot about last October, and I kind of hope you never get sober. Because you were showing up drunk, but you were showing up, and that's more than I can say for any other month. And in September, I read you that letter, and I begged you to get help, the closest to helpless I ever really felt, but for some reason, by October, you started to remember why we even liked spending time together. And in January, I wonder if you'll do it dry every fucking year. You say you were gonna try because it was always preceded by nights in December that you couldn't remember. 10 missed calls, 4 a.m., swear to me it won't happen again. And March was the first time I saw you get high. I watched you take my keys to the counter and make 2 neat lines. And you grabbed my waist with your arms and you pulled me in close and you asked if I knew what you loved about me the most. And when I told you I didn't, you shook your head and you said I don't try to control you like your friends' girlfriends did. And that I let you have fun in the way that you want, and that I was down to try things, and that was so hot, and that I wasn't in your business or obsessed with your life, and you knew that meant I'd make such a great wife. And when I told you I didn't, you shook your head, and you said I don't try to control you like your friends' girlfriends did. And that I let you have fun in the way that you want, and I was down to try things, and that was so hot. And you encouraged me to reach out to my cousin in May to hear him out on what he had to say, that being family was more important than any fight we had before, and to hold a grudge against him was being immature, and having him over for dinner wasn't what I had in mind, but you regained access to the Adderall he had always been prescribed. And it took 2 minutes for you to take one after he left. I watched it travel down your neck and work through your chest, and we forgot about dinner and played video games for hours before you took off my clothes and we got in the shower, and we stood in the path of the steaming hot water, and you looked in my eyes and you told me you wanted me to make you a father. And that you hoped our first baby would be a daughter who looks just like me and knows how lucky she is I'm her mother, and that you'd stick by me and we'd always be partners. And by that point, the clock on the stove was blinking 6 a.m., the night energy being broken by the sun coming in, and you were turning out pockets of the coats we had wore where you swore you put the other pills you had bought the week before, and the closer you got to the end of your high, the more we fought. So even though I know it's a fucked up thought, I kind of hope you never get sober. Because now we're in another October, and I think a lot about the girl you'll love after me, how I truly hope she gets to experience you clean, mostly because I want to keep these good parts just for me. She'll be spared the drama and the constant fear. She'll never have to clean up next day beer. She'll get farmers markets and that baby shower, and she won't be up wondering where you are at all hours, and she'll get dabbed by the girl not worried about bills, you when you are sober. But she will never feel love like I did in October. This one is called Walking on Stilts. I once had someone tell me that I need to stop expecting life to throw me a parade. But I just laughed because I am made to stand in lights. Even though I have never once floated through anything, I have clawed and pawed and knuckled my way through surviving, walking these streets once out of necessity, but now I am here to showcase the best of me. My costume is stitched from little pieces of things that I've overcome. My anger is released to the beat of the snare drums, and I will throw candy out to the crowd with all my strength, hoping a little sweetness can pave the way for them to one day march in their own parade. And someone once told me I must be blowing my own trumpet because no one else is. But I am up front blowing it because I took the lessons and I lead this procession, and I am not making it about me, it is about me. My rhythm controlling the tapping of your feet, and your words are not strong enough to wring me out to dry. This road is filled up with every dark part of my mind, and I am proud of them. They are on display. My shame and guilt make up this parade. And you are welcome to join with me and play in the band to the tune of the times that every man has told me that I have no right to stand up here and be the star, but I came this far, and I am not just standing, I am walking on stilts, because this is the parade for which I was built.
One more time for Celeste. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate the empowering and put on your own parade and the imagery. And it's not always going to be good with human relations. That's why I'm an introvert, man. I don't need the drama of other people unless it's at poetry night. Give me all your drama. That's just like the best way to be spending a Saturday night. Am I right? Yeah. So the next person to come into the mic is a friend of mine, and there's another one of those people that I'm like super proud to know and to be able to share the stage with. So give a fresh poetry welcome to Poetic Tess.
Hey everybody, I'm not going to use the mic. My name is Tess, also known as Poetic Tess. I see a lot of new faces in here, but I see a lot of faces that I haven't seen in a while, so it's good to be back, I guess.
Yeah.
So one of the pieces that I'm going to do today, I'm only going to do two. This piece means the world to me, and I'm pretty sure it means the world to two other people in this room. I'm just going to get straight into it. I want to shower you with my love and water your emotions to grow greenery in your family. Sending lightning strikes to your last endeavors with your name written on the tip just to make a point they lost none. So I found myself engulfed in your never-ending leaves, unable to stretch arms leap without touching one of your branches. That's why I'm so fond of you. I want to feed your intuition with only good, wholesome food that will have you wanting to make me your groundkeeper. I want to protect you like roots protect the soil. I want to breathe you in when I sleep to fill myself up with good, clean, crisp air. I want to make love to the thought of having you all to myself for now. Then one day, when we decide to plant an entire forest, let's vow to only grow what others deemed as non-essential just so we can break the stereotypes. Nurture our kings and queens and shower them with love and knowledge so they can plant, root, and blossom into what they are meant to be.
Say that.
But all gardens need practice. So until then, I will be your greenhouse. I will be your safe haven. I promise to let my light shine bright enough to energize you when your energy is burning out. I promise to keep you safe in a world of people that don't understand the importance of your longevity. I want to live with you. I want to feel the grass between my toes and the breeze escaping past my face only to make you dance in the wind. Your hips move so beautifully when no one else is watching, so I dance with my eyes closed and sneak peeks of you when you aren't looking. I let my hand do all of the work for me until your needs are fully fulfilled. It is my joy to cater to you. And it is yours to put breath into my body. Without you, my lungs would be breathless. And without me, who would water your garden and shun the serpents who dare cross the boundary lines? This is why I'm so protective of you. Sweet Magnolia. Thank you. So I wrote this piece maybe like a year or so ago for Alan and his beautiful wife. I love these two people. Like they're like my brother and my sister. But yeah, I wrote that piece for them, and I don't remember if this is their first time seeing me perform it live or not, but I hope y'all like it. Earlier I heard the birthday person say that he had a mental evaluation yesterday. Mental evaluations are no joke. So my heart goes out to you because when I had to get mine, I was ready to go. So I just want to let you know you inspired this next piece. I saw a TikTok back in November of a young lady who worked in a mental hospital for younger kids. And she said that it always broke her heart to go outside and play with them and stuff like that, and then go back inside, and when they leave, she don't know if they're going to be okay or if they actually are going to, I don't want to trigger anybody. She didn't know if they were going to be okay or if they weren't. So Her TikTok actually inspired me to write about my experience in Wakebrook and Raleigh, the mental institution. And by the way, yes, I am better now, if anybody was wondering. I never played kickball. I just sat outside and drew with chalk and just felt the sun on my skin. Because the cold air in the hospital only made me more numb. I wanted to feel, sometimes. And other times I just wanted to sleep because it was the closest thing I could actually get to death. I don't know what stopped me that day. I don't know if it was me accidentally answering my mom's call or when I thought I heard my grandma and brother's voices telling me to stay breathe. Sometimes I still get choked up while I'm talking about it. Trying to come to terms with my diagnosis only makes me more anxious because I am afraid that they will fall into the wrong hands. Everybody ain't careful with glass. But I never played kickball. One day I played beanbag with a junkie with a broken arm and somehow he always won. Maybe it was because he knew that he wanted to live. So he had to make himself accountable for something good so he could keep that feeling. I was still unsure. But I smiled and nodded whenever my nurses would come in. I wanted them to think that I was fixed. I wanted to go home just so I could send myself off because I was ready to fucking go breathe. I have to keep reminding myself to breathe. I do this daily, by the hour, by the minute, by the second sometimes. But anyways, I never played kickball. Thank you.
One more time for Poetic Tess. Man, so glad that you came through to grace the mic, man. It's so important, the mental health thing, and I mean, poetry is so therapeutic to being able to restore your peace. I always tell people I don't write for the applause, man. I just write for inner peace, and everything else comes after that. So props to y'all for slaying your own mental adversaries and restoring your own balance. So give yourself a hand for doing that. Coming up next, so many new names on there. I'm so interested to hear your perspective, and the name is curious enough. Give it up for Blue Sheep.
I talk really loud, I realize that, so I might not need the microphone, but I'll just kind of speak into it. This is literally my first time doing anything like this, so I'm kind of nervous, but also kind of excited. I came here last week to get the honey lavender latte and sold me plus with all the art. So the name is Blue Sheep. I always felt, even, you have the term black sheep. I always felt like everybody was black, but for some reason I was still a little bit different, so I was blue for whatever reason. So, growing up, being black and queer is not always something that you can understand. There wasn't a lot of examples for people like me when I was younger. I'm 33, so I'm not that old, but everything has immensely changed, if y'all know what I'm saying. So you have a lot of questions like, am I black, am I queer, am I black first, am I queer first, which one is it, I don't know. So I created this poem one day at work. I used to work at this call center. And in between calls, I was just writing. I was like terribly unhappy. And then I started getting into self-work, and I know I'm talking about, self-work and affirmations and everything like that. So some people might hear you say your affirmations, they're like, is he talking to himself? So that's how I created the story, Lonathan Talks to Himself. This is Lonathan talking to the little boy in him. Little black boy, do you know who you are? Do you know what you can be? Do you know that you have the blood of kings and warriors flowing through you? Do you know that alone that makes you great and rich beyond measure? Do you know people will judge and disapprove of you? Do you know that it's not because they question your greatness, but because they are so aware of it? Do you know that you're brown, folate, bronze, almond, cocoa, coffee, onyx, butterscotch, jet, ebony, pecan, black skin sings a song about strength and perseverance and never to be forgotten? Do you know that being different is a beautiful curse, but it's also a terrible gift? But you have the tools to shine in your DNA. Little black boy, remember these things, so that when you speak, your breath is filled with confidence and assurance. And little black boy, remember, never question yourself. Aku kanga lawalana lodwa, which is Zulu for no man abandons his own race or people.
One more time for Blue Sheep. My hands are so clean right now. Fresh mic. We're on brand, right? Yeah, I really feel that self-empowerment, man. It's important to be comfortable in your own color, to invent a color, man. Just don't select from the illusion of options. You're one of one, right?
Yeah.
So appreciate you sharing that perspective. I feel like we're all getting a little bit smarter, getting a little bit wiser just by being here, hearing each other's truths. So another hand, I'm just impressed with y'all, man. So coming to the stage next. Please welcome back our feature for an encore, Tina Hersh.
Just been writing a lot, so I wanted to share more. This one is called Age is Just a Number. If you feel I am too young for good conversation, should your eyes be resting on my chest? If you feel I am too young to enjoy jazz, is it unsuitable for your hands to be grazing my hips? If you feel I am too young to write poetry, tell me, why am I old enough to move in nudity subjected to your gaze? Does it seem wrong to enjoy a young body? I may be younger than your daughter. Perhaps we share the same name. May I remind you of her? So why ask? Why just act surprised when I tell you I love all things a woman would? These are stories at the strip clubs. This one is for the many young women. I sit in the morning sun, cradled in cushions, crying into my coffee. This buttered toast stands for comfort rather than a portion or a balanced meal. I am grieving. The loss of innocence weighs heavy on my mind. As I sit here in the sun, sipping coffee safely, I can't help but feel a little bit guilty. For I've already made the journey from my brokenness to where I am today, but still, I want her to be the one cradled in cushions, sipping coffee in the sunshine. I want her to feel comfortable in her body and mind, to feel embraced and empowered by her womankind.
Okay.
Wow, give it up for Tina Hersh one more time.
What's a sign up, is it?
Yeah. Oh, did you wanna bless the mic? Because we got what time is it?
We've got 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, just really appreciate you, Tina. That tackling those difficult conversations is so important, especially in your own mind first, and then with other people next. Because then sometimes people are just afraid to talk about some things. So appreciate you. So next to the mic, we have 2 more people going, then we're going to get to our features. And I'm not going to say this right. Yeah, so coming up next is Nyeeman. Nyeeman Nelson. Give it up.
This poem here is about my older sister. It's called Are You My Sister? June 28th, 1996. I must have met you and it was bliss. My best friend, my sister, but right now I miss her. I never thought a man would come between, but you say no, stop, and blame it on me. So I think maybe I'm overreacting, wanting my sister to call me, but that's asking. Too much from someone so far away. In New York you text, but I'm always first to say hey. Now you're close, you're back in arm's reach, but right now I don't know you. Who is she? I ask you to come over, but can he come too? No, I don't think so. Can it just be me and you? I rarely see you, but when I do, I don't know her. She is not you. You say you're right here, but where is that? I look in your eyes, but I feel detached. From who I knew back in '96, my best friend, my sister, my angel you were, but now you're gone, just a blur. Tell me again that I know who you are, because from the outside I only see scars of someone who used to be so close to me, but now I look in your eyes and I miss her, and can't help but ask this stranger, are you my sister?
One more time for Nyeeman. Yeah, people live on in words, like I said. I mean, we all relate to people, and we could channel their energy just by the art we create. So we got one more on the list for y'all tonight. Yeah. Who's the last name on it? Can you read it?
Yeah, sure can. Brianna.
All right, give it up for Brianna. Where you at?
Did you just do it?
Oh, yeah. One more time. Brianna.
She knows how to make it.
I know. We have to adjust all of our stuff too.
All right, so I'm going to be sharing a poem today, and this is also my first time at an open mic, though I've been writing poetry. So this poem is actually an older poem that I wrote. It was a relationship that was kind of a way out of the trauma that I had with my family, and like a broken relationship with my father, and trying to heal that. So this is kind of the love between two people who had a lot of pain, and what it felt like for me in terms of, just kind of being there. So, I was running up the stairs. All right. This is my life. This is my love story. Two broken souls who are destined to meet and breathe as one. To take away one another's pain, to mend the hurt and the burn in their soul. They can see through one another's eyes. They're so alike, so beautiful. They make each other whole. He has given her the father she never had, and she has given him the mother he never had. The most unconditional love, the torture, the pain, all of it, the suffering that never had a reason. It all had a purpose. It was to bring them together so they could learn to appreciate the chirp of the birds and the sound of the rain. When they thought they could no longer survive and they wanted to escape, they had no idea what gift was in store. They had no idea their lives, their love, their happiness, all they had ever wished for would be fulfilled. If they were to ever part, it would be accepted, for the love that they had for one another could never be stolen away. It has been etched into the clouds above. In all that is on this earth, the breathing of the trees, the clouds in the sky. The pain they feel is only temporary because they know they're destined to meet again. They will always feel each other in both their hearts and souls, no matter the distance. They save each other, and they always will, over and over and over until the end of time. And the twin flame will continue to burn for all eternity. So thank you so much for holding space for me while I read my first piece of poetry in a mic.
One more time for Brianna for this time. Yeah, never underestimate the power of the resilience of the human spirit is what I'm hearing when you tell me that. So I have hope. There's hope for me. I'm like single as fuck. That's why I'm here. Who needs girls when you have poetry nights, though, man? Yeah, so never mind. This is not about me. It's about the features coming up next. Because you're not ready. This is the best way to spend a Saturday. We all family here, freshly brewed. Imagine the conversations y'all are about to have with each other after all the stuff that's been said, real talk. But so this first feature that's coming up, he's a published author, an emphatic performer, loyal friend. And one of my most favorite things about his work is just so unflinchingly sincere. Like he means that the fuck what he's saying when he's up here. You're gonna hear a lot of truth and a lot of honesty, and it's kind of piercing. So give it up for Travis King.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I have no plan whatsoever. Everything I'm about to say is gonna come from the heart. I'm gonna pull the phone out. But let me start off. There's a few things I really want to say. But I'm gonna start off. I like to joke a little bit first, right? Yeah. So I got a compliment on my smile today. I was like, what? Like, really? Like, I be like brushing my teeth like super hard. So it really, really made me feel good. And guys, like when you get a compliment, like, like the bunny to your legs is all of a sudden, you just be posing for no reason. Like, yeah, let me get 20 on pump 6. Yeah.
What did it say?
Alright, I'm sorry.
What did it say?
Okay, alright.
The battery running low.
Sorry, yeah, Griffin. Call about secret agent nicknames and stuff. Before I introduce myself, I wanted to speak on my man right here. Bro, I haven't lost my mom yet. But beginning of the pandemic, I lost my uncle who's born the same day as me. In the middle of the pandemic, I lost my great uncle who's my granddad who's born one day before me. So death has been around, man. I will tell you that the ancestors have a way of speaking to you. I have this job now that I don't like. It pays well, but I don't like it.
That's why they call it work.
That's what they call it work. And it's actually taken away from the poetry. Like, I feel like my poetry is dying. I'm not going to keep it real with you. But I say the ancestors speaking to you. I was having like a very, very bad day at work one time. And one of the machines I work in manufacturing, has nothing to fucking do with poetry whatsoever. But I was having a bad day, and come to find out, the machine I was working on had an acronym of Sara on it. Sara is my grandmother who died back in 2003. First tattoo on my neck. The reason why I am the man I am now. So it's weird how they talk to you. So, and they also talk to you when blessings and heartaches come to you. So I will tell you to pay attention to your inner voice. That's what I tell you. Not necessarily your mind, it's a trickster. Not necessarily your gut because it's a little bit too honest. I say your soul, bro. Like right there in the middle. So anyway, I'm Travis King, everyone. So and it's funny because we're actually on the cusp of the vernal equinox. And this was my introduction last year of doing poetry again. Had to take some time off for various reasons. So it's funny when I think of when I think of spring, I think of my grandmother. And ironically enough, the poems I chose actually has dwindlings of her in it. So I'm not sure how many I'm gonna do. I'm just, just going off the heart and we'll see what happens, all right? When I grow old, eyes the color of age, moonstone, and victory. May I be enriched with the drunken sobriety that I have made it. One step closer to heaven within my mind, one step of letting go. There shouldn't be a purgatory to describe a status of highly favored circumstances. But knowing that one day I will be ready for my zenith to shine on the next future kid to pick up a pen and write from the heart. I know gorgeous people that don't know they're gorgeous. I have mistresses that don't know they poison me with alchemy. Funny thing is that I see this as salvation. And I have some insecurities that my mirror won't close the portals for my benefit. And with the blasphemous yet obedient soul, I ask myself, why did God make me a love poet? All of my exes are either pregnant or engaged and pregnant. You see, the zeitgeist of my life always seemed to leave my fantasy of happiness within my psychotic minstrel show. So I confused my breakup with them as the day they conceived the future without me in it. Their makeup for concert dates with post-inspiration and are the anti-protest against DC comic books. Wonder Woman never ages, but the Marvel, my Grinch Stacy, was lost by the head collision of me not being ready, and all of a sudden, I'm sicker than Eddie Brock with immune deficiency. I guess I had trouble giving my energy to ghosts. And since you haven't responded to my 4 periodic texts, my regrets of me couldn't have been haunts my kinetics into the domino effect that whenever I replay our last encounter, making me wish deja vu made the groundhog see your shadow. So I can make snow angels that resemble the fossils of our past relationship. You made me want to plant coffee seeds in the spring so I can wake up vibrantly in October to harvest your bold flavor. I rarely wear Jordans, but I swear your soul gave my spirit a goat mentality, giving me the ability to be a jump man over the roses and dedicated to blossom. I wasn't afraid to blush the dirt off of your thorns as long as you promised not to pinch me too deeply. I promised to show you my pot of gold, like the luck of finding fortune. If we took the scenic route to the end of your ever-evolving rainbow, I can taste the raindrop mimicking your hidden oceans. Seeking pearls, oysters, and multicultural ancestors who have built a community underneath your personas, making kingdom out of your intrusiveness. And all of a sudden, I often whisper to myself that I hate myself too. And drown my infinite possibilities that I could be better, with past sorrows or scenarios to validate my excuses that drains out of my poker face. But my research is beginning to believe that Atlantis found refuge within the womb of your grandmother. She was pregnant with you too. You with the cheerleader mentality but feminism finish line, seeking the cause until the perception of a lover that will sweep you off of your feet, leaving me in the oblivion of your April's mist. That was my heart. That smelled like intrepid, strange fruit in the spring air, swinging from the floral noose ropes of you going through lover after lover after lover, only for me to never be worthy enough to giving me a chance to put the proposal on the same hand whose fingers will adapt a ring one day. My grandmother left me a wedding ring on her deathbed. Knowing that she had raised a good man that could set fire to the rain of tears that were too dry, burning the goodness out of any good soul. But now, I know that someone not responding is responding itself, or responsing itself. And one day, and one spring day, I will lower my knee like a quantum leap into a revolution, knowing I will evolve and you don't acknowledge it. As my last love poem will be godlike. We all know God has one hell of a sense of humor.
Come on.
My grandmother will often tell me to be cautious of driving when spotty fog, as they were once beings that lived in our realm. they pass and now look for heaven using their worldly desires to find it on earth. So pray as your vehicle cuts through their exoskeleton of purgatory, as one day you will be faced with the same dilemma when you take your last breath. In this moment, me and fear has developed a kinsmanship for my pensmanship. Yet I fear the day that poetry isn't cool to me anymore, scribing and scorch only to feel the coldness of getting older, asking myself if I'm adding value to my life or wasting whatever time I have left to become more evaporated, and to miss longing for a cloud to love me enough to cry me into an ocean, and I become riptide due to falling from her mystique paradise, crashing against the shore like an alien making snow angels out of sandcastles, creating clay, hoping that the universe takes murder of a kingdom as an ode to my belief in something greater than me. This is the horror of my rebirth. 15 minutes of infamy. Tapes recorded over the excesses of your previous self who tried to maneuver a shell of a truth within who I am. The underdog would transform into the wolf, and I found some sheep's clothing that matches my ulterior motives. Don't call me by my nicknames, just to box me out within your opinions. As a respect I now demand breaks through any oak. I level my manslaughter with all advances now. No one misses nice guy. There's a millennial lover boy that eats lavender and abuses tulips, and the thing about true lips is they have a tendency to not spare your ego whenever life wars you with empathy. So in many ways I created this alter ego to balance holding myself accountable versus adapting to society. As too far left causes self-infliction and too far right creates an end-stage arrogance, protectionist Mercury is out of retrograde, and she just so happened to sit behind the skyline of Elm Street and rise out of the narcissistic waters of Crystal Lake. Oh, how void she is when she went up. God knows. My mouth getting dry. Protection as Mercury is out of retrograde, as she just so happens to sit behind the skyline of Elm Street and rises out of the narcissistic waters of Crystal Lake. Oh, how void she is when she takes her hockey mask off. Parading me with blemishes, she defines the stars, covering them with the moonlight of red rum, as if she shines and get lost in the maze covered by snow. You see, it's always winter in her atmosphere. As blood appears like an art on the succubus like canvas and freezes the bodies of her past Christmas ghosts, using the excuse akin to serial killers and Dexter to bury things you once urged for in the shallow surface, so weeping women can be attracted to the echo of losing things they love out of grief and despair. She even told me to cover all the mirrors in the room because she can't stomach saying my name 5 times anymore. Ever since my samurai suicide, rolling with a dream catcher descending down the ladder, being puppeteered by something dark to parallel my luminosity. But scream, queen. Don't scream, queen. If I appear and you see Alucard next to your reflection, my ivory has been polished to puncture necks and hearts to the same memento as Maury had when he realized that his grim pigmentation usually correlates to death. Carpe diem is like psalms to me, as my fear is the fear of not finding everlasting worth to say that I need to be loved. I hate myself. I love who I'm not. I love myself. I hate what I'm not. Ritualistic phrases of a man who converted to vigilante to give Gotham back to the people. I either die young enough to become the hero or live long enough to see myself become the villain. Whatever version arises, I stand here zombified, becoming swarm, achieving a high-mindedness as adults turn into children trying on costumes. But I know walls carry secrets, so I hum Negro spirituals who avoid mahogany's attention. Because melanated floors are meant to be walked on, but only for the purpose to serve as a bridge for others to cross into phases it burned a long time ago. And I was crucified in the flames. Now both man and monster sing about me, if that eases your consciousness. But you've been warned. Seeing me in this persona can lead to hostile consequences and conclusions.
Give it up for Travis King one more time.
Yeah.
Every time I feel a little bit more self-love after that. They're really like love poems, but I feel like they're like self-love poems. And I see what you did, Ronan. So appreciate you. Appreciate the energy and everyone that's sticking it out. Are y'all doing good? We're like at the last stretch. Energy good? Yeah. So we got one more feature for y'all tonight. It's gonna be someone that I've known for a while, and he has his own show. If you haven't heard of it, it's called Pen in the Stone. It's a poetry podcast. He's also a published author. Got some published work too recently. He's also a boss. He's fired a couple of people recently. Yeah, but my favorite thing about him is, man, his vibe. It's smooth, it's genuine, doesn't lie. Give it up for Sacred Haiku.
I'm Sacred Haiku, and attitude. I thought the A in haiku was attitude's not needed because vibes do not lie.
Vibes don't lie. Yeah.
I want to thank Antino for doing a dope show. I want to thank Dan and Debbie for being a great host for us. Thank you. This is what poetry is about, just all that's coming together and vibing out. So, my last show was in October. A lot of us performed in this room together that day. Since then, I've been on a creative drought. Because I have to speak. So, this next piece I actually wrote this week. And I just want to test it out, see how it feels in the room, get some feedback, the energy. And some people already heard it already through some messages, but this one's called Shipwreck. I love it when it rains, especially when clouds break the skyline, two-tone grays with shadowy underbellies. At precipitation fall on crowns, souls dipped in the holy atmosphere like ideas blessed to thoughts. Cleansing skin as droplets trickle down arms racing to elbows, ears tickled by the waves whispering of names of those forgotten as the wind howls the memory of the loved. I still love the rain, even as a storm. Rocking starboard and falling to port, high torn leaves, leg wobbling, tripping over to stern. As laying on my back, I gain the strength to rise to the helm just to be humbled by a broken compass. And then I bow. Eyes closed before the last one capsized the vessel I thought could handle the course, when maturing was considered waterproof, and when the rim of the glass was above eye level. Flat earth was the only sight known before the abyss of the blue desert, thinking how far do I have to be just to see my feet planted again. Watching the spotlight of heaven shine on the ship drifting to the upside down, head reaches light for the second time, gasping for air. Missing calm breath, waves of time interrupt that moment. Like sand saturated, the hourglass became its own eternity. Shipwrecked. An island or beach, or maybe it's purgatory. A dream one and the same to death. I don't know where I am or understand the depth of the black pearl that settles in my stomach. Vomiting the deep sea, I can see shipwrecks and skyfalls. With little notes in each grain of sand, I place myself in every possibility. But drowning has left me submerged to the point of I'm way above my head and living again. Stranded, looking out at survival, I just became an automatic member to memory. Mental solitude, these bird calls, the only conversation to say tomorrow will come again. Where hope to be saved has become an afterthought. Opening eyes to see the stars empering as the sun takes over. I makeshift a spear to hunt for food when thoughts wouldn't sustain me anymore. Poking at the mirages to see if things are still real, I'm a castaway without a spaulding to keep me from talking to coconuts. I wait for the SOS to want to be heard. For now, I'll just sit on shorelines, letting waves erase my presence. I think that's a plane. It's been a few days since I smiled. I think I can do it again. good for that. Antino said it really well. He said, ideas are kind of like, it doesn't belong to us. You have to tune into a certain frequency, and it blesses us. It's a blessing to us so we can give it out to the world. It's wise words, man. Wise words. So this next piece. First of all, who has ever said I love you? Show of hands. Who has been the first one to say I love you? And no one replied back. I wrote my hand all too. This next piece is a conversation between such individuals. It's called If Love Was a Curse Word. A couple cuddles together with a blanket on a cold Saturday night. Netflix comedy specials in its conclusion. The guy looks at her and smiles. A warm sensation fills up his heart, and she looks up at him. His mouth moves. I love you. What did you say? How dare you curse at me? Do you even know what you just said? Hearts have bled over a word like that. I'd rather you say you want to fuck me all night, because at least I know you mean it. But you loving me, I just can't see it. That word is like arsenic, too much, and too much exposure, it will kill you. How dare you disrespect me and my intelligence? We only known each other for a few months. This heavy metal whose periodic number is infinitely unbounded. So you directed it to me like it's chemical warfare, and I was unaware of it. Do you even know its origin? Do you know what it means? I'd rather you call me baby, because at least I know you kind of mean that. But love, I just can't understand it. They say love is blind, so you walk into my room, not even knowing I was there to begin with. This word, it should go through the FCC so they can stick a parental advisory on its packaging, so little boys can't learn before they are ready. So boys don't grow up being men throwing it around to get their way. You still haven't answered me. Do you know its origin? I know a warm feeling swells up inside you, allowing you to perceive it to be hard love. Looking down at you, I see other things hard that swell up out without words. It's easy to say, but hard to live by, so it's out in the air now. I ask, why? I'm sorry. I did not mean to paint pictures of false grandeur. My brush was only stroking because my heart was its artist. My mind being a critic told my mouth to say what my heart was painting. So I love you came out. I did not mean to repeat the spell to put you under the curse that others put you on before. I guess I just jinxed this us that I wanted more from. I gain nothing from saying it, but I lose everything if you do not feel it too. Love origin comes from a being that you cannot see. So love means faith because you cannot see it, but I see you. I'm sorry. Thoughts of love have lost its value and they have become pennies. But you could take mine and collect my thoughts, and the pains will give you a fortune. You heard it many times, I'm sure, but a woman like you, how can you not see her worth loving? And you're right. Boys do say it to get what they want, but this man here says it to produce fruit that could feed the nation we build together. So don't have to feel the need to say I love you right now to me. Just know it's moments like these together that I cherish that led me to I love you. I can see you're afraid of the affection that no longer giving you protection. That I only said it so that you can give me an erection, and when you're mad at me, I say to get re-election. Well, baby, I'm sorry, no relationship has perfection. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse you. I'm sorry for saying sorry so much. I just meant to tell you how I felt, just for you to tell me how you feel, so I can continue to grow affections for you, and you can see me differently than those who didn't actually love you.
Hey guys, just let you know before someone else starts speaking that we're closing up, so if everyone could just try to make their way out as soon as possible, that'd be great.
Thank you. Yeah, wrap it.
2 minutes.
10 minutes.
2 minutes.
Let's close this out. All right. Yeah. Last one, that's it?
Yeah.
All right, this one This was called Mahogany Floors. I had to read this one to my wife before, because currently craving curves, never wondering what long legs or those thick lips will be like on mine. Conversing in tongues, limit close as they take residence on mahogany floors. Cool wood steams on the bottom of 2 hot feet while 2 more reach for the ceiling fan, circling warm breath to shucking legs open like clams, searching for the pearl like hands, keeping Mother Nature bosom supported, suckling whispers with ice cube freeway trails. Now she sounds great. Her voice is just a distant commercial marketing her beauty, laying on a reddish brown floor, pressing her likeness into the grains of mahogany in the hallways to my emotions. That's just what I imagine her being as she stands there in reality, paying for her food, living her normal life. You think I should go over and say hi? Because right now I'm thinking about cheating on my wife. Fading into the Christmas carol specters proceed to show channels of emotion for consequences as looming and fleshy desires hitting Cupid's hubris humidity and taking heat regrettably, air filling lungs of beast strewing over the plate of lusting imagination. Ingesting pale ale selfishness, intoxicating the feeble focus of mahogany, waking from the nightmare of karma's hangover, an eye for an eye, seeing tears fill the holes as you removed your soul from their heart. Tiptoe secret lies across Penrose staircase, plunging lies for excuse, the dropping of the rate of love, trust and love between equal heaven contracts. One step in the direction of temptation, stepping out of body, watching the outcome unfold. Observing a moment of blind pleasure, untying eternity, breaking the physics that tie your soul to threefold cords. Pale tears dropping from the face once kissed, no longer wanting to look into your eyes, asking, please just look at me, as if truth was a factor before the betrayal. Playing saxophone apologies, duets beside harmonica blues of regret, this melody uses a rag for polishing floors to remove the footprints of evidence on mahogany. If only walls could talk as floors tell the steps taken to enter the unforgiven, never underestimate the predictability of stupidity. As results resulting in response to regret coming short of facts. Just seeing another man enter the haven promised to you, the skin crawls if the rights was given up by the actions. And I skinny dips in my mind so I can see the naked truth. How could I hurt the being that I called my everything, thinking I would still have something after taking that one thing I promised was hers, vowing for death to be the only way for us to part. But here I stand on mahogany floors, daydreaming about a morning I thought about being in someone else's present. And my stomach turns on its side and curls up, and the dream was just a weak-skinned nightmare. As the ring tightens, cutting off blood flow as the drive home continued, the reflections of light refracting on glass, and I could see the fragility of the realm we built together. First smile, though, on the other side of that door, stifle all ideas that grow from negative pondering. I never said hi to that woman in the story. When I saw my wife, all I wanted to do was say, I'm always yours. Holding her like every day holds our lives, I wake up to royalty. Holding wanting her to be on all mahogany floors.
It's one good dude, man. Give it up for Sacred Haiku. My name is Art. This was Freshly Brewed Poetry. Go see Debbie to sign up on our email list for the next event in June. Other than that, I think we can be out of here. So please
get on Facebook.
Yes, on Facebook. Check us out on Facebook, Freshly Brewed Poetry. And if you want to buy something, I got some books for sale. But yeah, thank y'all for coming. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.